Hi, friends. Thank you so much for joining us for the Living Learning Communities and Residential Colleges webinar this evening. My name is Amanda Moss, and I'm the Outreach Manager for Residence Education and Housing Services within the Department of Student Life and Engagement. And I am so incredibly excited to be here to introduce my colleagues representing our various living learning communities and residential colleges on campus. Just to give us a bit of an overview, today you can see we'll be starting with a brief moment with the admissions office, and then our residential colleges are going to get us started with their presentations, and we'll move on to our living learning communities and special interest communities. I'll wrap us up with a few campus resources available for all students, and then we'll close with a question and answer session. Before we get started, I do want to share that this webinar is being recorded and we will have it available on the Live on YouTube channel by next week. As you may have noticed, there is a question and answer feature. It is going to be available during the webinar, but we do ask that you hold off on asking any community specific questions until the community you have questions for is finished presenting, as they're likely to cover information that answers your question in their presentation. If you happen to have specific questions that aren't answered today, you're more than welcome to contact the Housing Assignments Office, the Office of Admissions, or visit the website of the specific community you're interested in order to get answers or make direct connections. So that being said, to kick us off, I'd like to introduce John Ambrose, our Executive Director of Admissions.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you here tonight as we dive into the unique advantages of our living and learning programs as well as colleges here at Michigan State University. As Amanda said, I'm John Ambrose, the Executive Director of Admissions, and I'm here to welcome you. Michigan State is recognized for being a big school that has managed to make it feel small. It's a place where finding your community and your niche can transform the overwhelming fear and anxiety of becoming a number into a personalized experience that smooths the transition from high school to college. So whether you're introverted and seeking a smaller environment to exercise your social skills, or extroverted, desiring a closer-knit community, our living learning programs can cater to a diverse set of academic and personal preferences. Our programs offer an environment that makes MSU feel more tailored to you. One of the standout advantages is the opportunity to push oneself academically within an environment that's collaborative and not competitive. And despite the academic rigor, there's a prevailing sense of camaraderie among our Spartans, fostering mutual support and motivation. The discussion-based classes and some of the programs in colleges not only enhance the academic understanding, but also facilitate relationship building among peers and classmates and professors. The faculty and staff within our living learning programs embody qualities that enhance the student experience. For instance, in the James Madison College, participants commonly describe faculty and staff as welcoming, knowledgeable, and helpful, creating an environment where students never feel like a mere number. And in the Residential College of Arts and Humanities, faculty and staff are characterized as caring, accommodating, and passionate, ensuring that students feel supported and valued. Similarly, in Lyman Briggs, the students describe their community of peers as passionate and motivating and friendly. So you may be wondering, why would MSU go through the trouble of creating small learning communities, and why should that matter to you? Well, to put it bluntly, while we may all be Spartans, we are not created the same. We don't learn the same or have the same lived experiences. Some of us need different, and different in this case means different outcomes. And the National Survey of Student Engagement said that 85% of students who enrolled in living learning programs had a greater college experience and found it more satisfying than those that did not. Another organization, a different one, said National Study of Living Learning Programs found that these students are 11% more likely to persist to graduation. So I hope these themes are some of the reasons that you might find to select one of our living learning programs as an option for you, should you find it that way. And if you find that you really do like it and it's a fit for you, I can guarantee you that my friends and colleagues here who will also present tonight will show you and tell you exactly how you can become a part of one of those communities. But before I go, I want you to know that Michigan State's living learning programs are that real deal where students can thrive. So whether you're seeking something with academic rigor or a tight-knit community or even to tailor support, MSU's living learning programs have something exceptional for you. So thank you for your attention, and we look forward to welcoming you to our community this fall. I'll turn things back over to Amanda.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for that, John. Truly, I believe that wholeheartedly, and I appreciate you sharing that. Moving forward, we are going to get started with our residential colleges, and we are going to begin with our Honors College and Academic Scholars Program.
Thanks, Amanda. Hi, everyone. My name is Bess German. I serve as the Assistant Dean in the Honors College, and I'm very happy to be here tonight to talk to you about our program and about some of our living options in the Honors College. So just to be clear, the Honors College is a community of about 4,500 students at Michigan State. The Honors College has about quadrupled in size over the last 15 or so years. And so we have a philosophy in the Honors College that flexibility serves high achieving students best. And I hope you'll see that come through in what we offer in our living learning communities as well. So just briefly about the Honors College, it is a community of a vibrant community of 4,500 students who major in anything. So students can be a part of the Honors College and major in any of our academic programs and residential colleges and other living learning programs. Our students design their own general education program as one of our key features and benefits of the Honors College. So instead of taking MSU's standard set of general education courses, our students choose from all of MSU's offerings to create their own general education. Another benefit of that flexibility is being able to waive many prerequisites that exist on our courses. So we've been around for a long time. In fact, we think we're the oldest honors college in the nation. And I just tell you that to say, our founders had this sort of radical picture of what high achieving students should get to do at Michigan State. And that has come true for us. And so our job here is to challenge high achieving students appropriately and also support them appropriately. We started about 15 years ago a program called the Academic Scholars Program. The reason it's mentioned here, it is a pathway program to join the Honors College. And it's open to students who are high achieving in high school, who maybe didn't get the Honors College invitation, but who are high achieving first generation or Pell eligible students. And just to let you know, we haven't invited our academic scholars yet for fall semester 24, but we have invited our Honors College students for the most part. And so there are two ways to get into the Honors College at Michigan State. I just want to briefly let you know that you can be admitted directly from high school. You also could join us after doing well and applying after your first semester at Michigan State. So just those two ways to get into the Honors College. And now I want to tell you a little bit about our housing options, because that's why we're all here tonight. So like everything else in the Honors College, honors housing is a choice. And so you don't have to be on an honors floor if you're in the Honors College. And we don't, at this present moment, have an honors residence hall. And so our students can be a seamless part of other residential communities, either ones that have honors housing within them, such as the major residential colleges you're about to hear about, or major residential programs you're about to hear about. So there are honors housing options integrated into some living learning programs. So a student could select to be on the honors floor in their residential community. Or they could say, no, I still want to be in Lyman Briggs College, for example, but I don't really want to be on the honors floor. And that would be fine with us as well. So, and then we have some floors that are not tied to particular residential communities, because obviously not all of our students are involved in a living learning program. And then we do have students who participate in other living learning programs that don't have an honors floor option. So we welcome that as well. We want students to be a part of RISE and Drew Scholars and all the other programs represented tonight. And so that's why we have so many choices. Our academic scholars students currently have an honors floor available to them in Holden Hall. So we wanted to let you know that. And in 2025, we're with our friends in student life and engagement, renovating a residence hall that will be open for about 300 of our students in one place. So my contact information is here, and I want to pass it on to my next colleague to present. Thanks very much for being here tonight.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us, Bess. Moving forward, now we're going to hear from James Madison College.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amelia Hammond. I use she, hers pronouns, and I work out of James Madison College. So as we're kind of segueing into the residential colleges away from the Honors College, I'll give just a very brief introduction of what we talk about. Tonight, you're going to be hearing about a lot of programs that are considered living learning communities. So have a connection with the sorts of things that you're interested in learning about and where you live. The distinction for those of us considered a residential college is that it is tied with a degree granting major. So in your first year, you live in a building with other students studying similar things, taking similar classes, and it's tied directly to a major that you are already admitted into. And so it's like a 4-year program, even if the living requirement phases out after that first year. So speaking about James Madison College specifically, as the name may kind of give you an indication, we are focused on public policy and international affairs. So think of it for students who are enjoying your social studies classes. We have a lot of students come to us and say that they really got into this sort of field through an AP Gov or AP History class. A lot of students interested in things like their AP Lit and Lang coursework, given that we do have a lot of writing in our program as well. So within that, there's a broad spectrum of students who will find a good home within a public policy, public affairs type program. We are known as students who are, thinking about pre-law pathway. We really focus on critical thinking, analytical reasoning, strong communication, strong writing skills. So for any folks thinking about a path into law school, you're really prepared well for the LSAT in law school. But I like to emphasize we are not only law students, and actually the majority of our students go into other fields such as business, government, working in advocacy fields, becoming teachers. So it's very broad what you can do with a James Madison major. You can see we have 4 different majors: international relations, comparative cultures and politics, political theory and constitutional democracy, and social relations and policy. So really the students who are interested in making change, looking to get involved in leadership opportunities, and I like to emphasize that our students don't really wait until after graduation to start making that change, to start those leadership positions. For the past few years, more than the past few years, the president of ASMSU, which is the student government for all undergraduate students at MSU, have come out of JMC. So impacting real change at very important times for the university. Amanda, you can go to the next slide, please. So to give a little bit more detail of why this matters, why this is a good, why it's a good opportunity. In a residential college, you're going to have smaller class sizes. So classes that are required for the major that you have to be in. So, or that you elected to be in. So in JMC, we have an average class size of about 25 students. And that means that starting in your first year all the way through graduation, you will have small interactive discussion-based classes with an actual professor. So a faculty member who will be teaching you, engaging you in your discussion and doing the grading for your assignments, which counter to what you might think is not actually the norm at a large institution like MSU all the time. So it's nice that you can come in and have that experience. We have interdisciplinary majors. So I named our majors before, but to kind of speak to what that means is we're blending a lot of different fields of study. So JMC majors are pulling from fields like political science, like history, like economics, like sociology, philosophy. So instead of having to choose just one of those fields, you can come into a program where we help you understand how those things are connected and how they all inform what's happening in the country and what's happening in the world in policy matters. Hands-on learning opportunities. We have a field experience coordinator and a career consultant embedded right within our program, right within our building in Case Hall. And so that means that starting again in your freshman year, you have somebody who's easy to get to, always available for you, who can help you understand how to get to law school, or what it looks like to take a Madison degree into a business field, how to connect opportunities with that, or internship opportunities with that, how to find alumni who can, guide you along the way as well. So a lot of this interactive discussion, relationship building, that's what we're trying to do in the residential community. So we're based in Case Hall, which means in your first year, you would live in Case Hall. After the second year, you can choose to live in a different place on campus. But all 4 years, your academic advisors for JMC, your professor's offices, the internship coordinator, the career consultant, the deans, all of that stuff will be based in Case Hall. So that way you all get to know each other, we all get to know you. So you always have a place to come to be supported and to engage in the goals that you have for yourself. So the key thing to know about application, how to apply, how to join our community, you choose us. So it's really as simple as you electing into JMC. So on your application, you would put James Madison College. If you've already applied, if you've already been admitted, fantastic, congrats. You can log back into your student portal and change your major preference. Or, you can contact somebody within JMC. My email is ehammond@msu.edu. So we want you to choose us by May 1, because that's when our list goes to the housing folks so they can assign everybody into Case Hall. So we'd love to have you join us after that. But if you want to be a part of the living learning experience, we'd want you to select James Madison College as your major preference through your application or student portal by that May 1. So for further details on the program, I invite you to check out jmc.msu.edu. It's got a lot of information about what our current students are involved in, what our faculty has been researching, all sorts of fun details. So from here, I'll turn it over to Jackie with Lyman Briggs.
Awesome. Thanks, Amelia. So I'm Jackie. I am the Lyman Briggs recruitment coordinator and one of the academic advisors for the college. I feel very lucky to follow Amelia because she did a lot of the legwork on what a residential college is. So similar to a lot of the things that she was speaking to for James Madison, we are one of the 3 residential colleges specifically for students interested in science and math. So a big part of what makes Lyman Briggs College and these residential colleges is unique is what I like to call I call it the Briggs experience when I'm talking just about Briggs, but really in this circumstance, it is this residential college experience, which I think really happens in 3 places. The first place being in the hall. So as mentioned before, all of our students live in the same building their freshman year, where the majority of their resources are, where the majority of their classes are, where their academic advising staff is, where our labs are, all of our collaborative spaces, where our faculty offices are. Specifically for Lyman Briggs, that's in Holmes Hall. It is suite style, so you were able to live in there. And as Bess mentioned earlier, we do have an honors college floor as well. So that's kind of where everything is taking place. When I say things like access to resources, obviously you have all of these things, your faculty offices, your advisors, your labs, all those things in one spot. But I don't just mean the fact that you have them or the fact that it's kind of nice when it's snowing and you don't have to walk outside to get to your class. I mean, your likelihood to take advantage of these resources, your likelihood to go ask for help if you've met the person before, your likelihood to go talk to a faculty member if you're one of only 30 students in that class and they know you by name because you're encouraged to engage in their classroom, your likelihood to come downstairs and get help with a 4-year plan, or come downstairs and get help with your medical school application because Krista's been in your classroom doing career service information since your freshman year. The fact that you're meeting me and Amelia and Katie today, so you know the 3 of us because you've seen our faces, we've been on campus when you visited, and now we could potentially be in the halls saying hello to you next year. Those things is your likelihood to take advantage of your resources because you have access to them, and we make that really accessible. So that's kind of the part of this experience that happens in the hall, if you will. The second part of the Lyman Briggs experience happens in the classroom. So our students are taking part in a collaborative, engaging, discussion-based studio style class. So as I mentioned, our average class size is about 30 students, taught by full-time faculty. We don't have graduate assistants teaching our classes. And we have faculty who chose to work for Lyman Briggs, right? They chose this experience just like you are potentially choosing this experience because they want to teach students. They want to connect with their students. They want to have these discussion-based classes where you're learning about science in a different way than you would in a class of 300 students. And everybody that's part of this experience is passionate in that experience that you're getting to have. And the other thing that we do that's a little bit unique is that we also bridge the gap between the science, humanities, and social sciences through our interdisciplinary curriculum. So our students are required to take 2 courses in science and society. So you're not just taking your bio and math and physics and chemistry through Lyman Briggs and those natural sciences, but you're also understanding why we study science, the ethics behind scientific discoveries. And we know that we can do this science now. Is it right to move forward? If we were to move forward with this type of science, what would that require of the government? What would that require of the economy? So bridging that gap between, we're not just learning hard science, we're learning how science affects society, how it affects the world, to make you a more well-rounded doctor, a more well-rounded scientist, a more well-rounded researcher as you move into the next stage of your career. The third part of this Lyman Briggs experience and this residential college experience happens in the field. So our students are getting hands-on experience, whether that's through education abroad and away, or through research on campus or research outside of campus. We have undergraduate learning assistants where undergraduate students are paid to do research with some of our faculty or help in one of our classrooms to get that hands-on experience. We want to make sure that you are understanding the context of the things that you're learning and actually putting them into practice while you're here at MSU. Amanda, I'm ready for the next slide. So if you're interested in this experience, if you've heard about Lyman Briggs, you're interested in any of the things that I talked about or that Amelia talked about in terms of residential colleges in general, it's pretty simple to join Lyman Briggs. All you have to do is list Lyman Briggs as your major in the application or log into your student portal if you've already been admitted to MSU and switch your major to Lyman Briggs. This can be a little bit confusing for Lyman Briggs because we do have 40 majors and some of them are also offered in another Michigan State college. So if you're interested in Lyman Briggs and you're thinking to yourself, this is so awesome, I want to be part of Lyman Briggs, I really want to study human bio while I'm a Lyman Briggs student. Don't list your major as human bio. You have to list your major as Lyman Briggs or you'll be placed into one of the other science colleges at Michigan State. So it's really important to put your major as Lyman Briggs and to keep your major as Lyman Briggs until you are in the first week of your classes actually here on campus. That's what makes sure that we have you in Holmes Hall. That's what makes sure you have a spot for our new student orientation all throughout the summer. It's important we are first come, first serve limited enrollment major. So we only have 650 spots for students, and those are decided when you make your advanced enrollment deposit. So if you are interested in becoming a Lyman Briggs student, you can switch your major into the system, but your spot is not actually locked into Lyman Briggs until you make that advanced enrollment deposit. As of right now, we have about 250 spots, so there's some time to think about that, and you're always welcome to email me. I run the lbc.recruiting@msu.edu email, and you can ask me where we're at with our deposit number and things like that if you're concerned about that limited enrollment. But as of right now, we have a few spots open, so there's some time to still join Lyman Briggs. And then the fourth part is obviously just to become a Briggsian and a Spartan. I'm really excited to be here today, and I'm happy to answer any questions in the chat. Or again, my email is lbc.recruiting@msu.edu, and you can always log on to the Lyman Briggs website as well. I'm going to turn it over to Katie to talk about the Residential College of Arts and Humanities.
Thanks so much, Jackie. And similar to what Jackie said, I am lucky because I'm the third and last residential college to go. So you've already heard a little bit of the basics of what a residential college is. But my name is Katie, and I'm one of the recruiting coordinators for the residential college in the arts and humanities at MSU. And we specifically are a degree granting college similar to Lyman Briggs and James Madison. And we are focused on those arts and humanities tracks. The students in ARCA are going to be majoring in arts and humanities, but within arts and humanities, that's pretty broad. We have 4 different pathways that they can choose. Some are in our name, which is arts and also humanities. So think creative writing, film, photography, traditional studio arts, dance theater, philosophy, ethics. But we do have 2 that are not listed in our title, which is language and culture. So thinking about different groups, ethnography, traditional folk arts, and also community engagement, which is how do we take these creative creative interests of our students, whether it's writing or performing or artistic endeavors, and have them have an impact in the community. And you don't have to know exactly what pathway you want to start as an ARCA student, but you'll get exposed to all those different academic options when you are a student at ARCA and taking classes in our program. We're located in Snyder Phillips, which is in the North neighborhood. And really, if you have any interest in any of those creative areas, ARCA might be a good fit for you. You can go to the next slide, Amanda. So a little bit about what our program has to offer in addition to those academic interests that students might have in the arts and humanities. Our building in Snyder Phillips is a really creative hub for students. So aside from your actual residential experience, that small community-based place where all of our first year and most of our second year students live in Snyder and Phillips. You also have access to our Lookout Gallery, which is an art studio, an art gallery that has rotating exhibits that students can actually work at right in our building. We have an ARCA theater where we have improv classes, performances. We bring in outside performers regularly to do productions for our students, and also the students themselves can use that space both as a class and as a extracurricular activity. And then we also have a makerspace in our lower level, which has a digital space for all of the creative suite that you could imagine equipment. So you can rent out drones and photography equipment. There's a music studio where you can do recording and voiceover work. And then we also have a traditional creative space as well, including a printing press, sewing machines, screen printing, traditional arts, and all of that is accessible to you as a student right in the building where you're living. So it really is bridging that gap, similar to what Jackie mentioned too, where you have all of these resources right at your disposal in the place where you're living. And not only that, but we also actually house MSU's Poetry Center right in Snyder Phillips in ARCA as well. So you'll have access to all of those creative spaces as a student for the first and second year. And then obviously afterwards, as you're coming back into those spaces for all of your ARCA classes. Speaking of classes, ARCA has very small classes for all of your individual ones that you'll be taking in our major. Our average is about 15 students. So you can imagine that those classes are really diverse and interesting and unique because the faculty can do a lot of creative things with a smaller class size. So a lot of our classes travel locally to engage with artistic groups and nonprofit organizations in the Lansing community. A lot of our classes also meet in spaces that are not traditional class spaces. So you might be meeting in the art studio or in the art gallery or in the theater. And you really get that personalized discussion-based work in those classes that you're taking within the major. I will also just mention that if you are thinking about this as an option, but you maybe also want to delve into a specific major deeply, a lot of our students double major or have a minor or multiple minors that they take outside of just ARCA. So if you are interested in a sort of a both and experience, it is very common and easy for students to major in ARCA, have that residential community experience in our college, but then also study some other in-depth academic interests outside of ARCA. So if that is something that you're thinking about doing, similar to what you've heard from Lyman Briggs and James Madison, you need to select arts and humanities as your major, or if you've already selected it, then you are already in ARCA. You can go into your portal and change that major at any point to arts and humanities, and that will also secure you a spot in our program. And we do have some upcoming opportunities for you to get a little bit more information as well. One is the ARCA Experience on March 13th, where you can actually come to shadow a student for a day. So you'll go to class with one of our ARCA ambassadors, sit in on some of those 15 student classes and get to feel what it's like to be an ARCA student, plus have some social experiences, time in our makerspace, time in our performing space, and really get to feel what it's like to be an ARCA student for a day. So if you're interested, whether or not you're an ARCA major, you can come to that event. We do also offer one-on-one visits, so you can always come and talk to one of us in person on campus or virtually, and you can connect with us at our website or arca@msu.edu as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for that, Katie. So those are all of our residential colleges. Up next, you're going to hear from our living learning communities, and we're actually going to start with the arts.
Great. Thank you very much. Thanks to the organizers for organizing this and for all the participants for being here. I'm David McCarthy. I'm the director of the Arts Living Learning Community, which is a brand new residential initiative on MSU's campus devoted to socially engaged art. And if that's a term that you're not sure what that means, I think the best way to explain it, especially in a brief bit of time, is to talk about what we do. And I think that falls into two major categories. One thing that we try to do is to build bridges between different units on campus. So this is the first of the living learning communities. We're not a degree granting college. We have students in many different majors. We're housed right in Snyder Hall, where the Residential College in Arts and Humanities is located. Katie was talking about. We have access to all of the outstanding resources that are there in Snyder Hall, including a really fully equipped art studio, the Language and Media Center that has all those cool technologies that Katie was talking about, a recording studio, a theater, art gallery spaces, just really extraordinary resources just there alone. We're also really on prime real estate for any MSU student who's at all interested in art. We're very close to all the different arts majors departments. Also very nearby the Broad Art Museum, the Contemporary Art Museum, and the Wharton Center. So if you're interested in the arts, this is really a place for you to be. And we're really trying to connect people with those resources. I think a lot of times students know cognitively that they have access to those resources, but they don't necessarily feel comfortable with them, or they're not sure how to use them. That's something we really work with you on one-on-one and in collaboration with other partners, other faculty, other staff, community partners, or to guest artists who are coming in, just to get those resources used and to help connect you with what you need to do, things that you want to do. I think directly growing out of that, the other major component of what we do is we try to build community partnerships. So we're going out into the surrounding community and working on art. And we're also bringing community partners to MSU's campus to work on art. So for example, one of our flagship initiatives is what we call the Incarcerated Arts Program, which supports art making among incarcerated people. Recently, we brought in a Tejano band. Tejano music kind of grows out of the culture of Spanish-speaking people in Texas and has a lot to do with migrant culture in the United States and in Michigan. We spent some time with them, getting to know their music, getting to know some of the dance styles. And then we thought really creatively about how do we bring some of those dance styles into a juvenile detention facility where there are many constraints and where a Tejano dance wouldn't ordinarily happen. I would say that our students are really excited about this program and really excited to welcome a new cohort. They're really building something brand new. We have several students who are involved in building that incarcerated arts program. There's another existing incarcerated arts program in Michigan at the University of Michigan, but they're very established, and our students are really thinking about what makes us distinctive and what kinds of communities can we serve and how, and what kind of art do we want to foreground. They're getting a lot of life experiences. We got a flat tire one time going out to the juvenile detention facility. They're gaining a lot of professional experiences, facing a lot of creative challenges and solving problems, really growing very rapidly in this community. So if you'd like to apply, our website is artsliving.msu.edu. There's a button there that says apply. You could also email me directly at artsliving@msu.edu. And we just want you to express your interest. We have a lot of space. Who is eligible for the community is something that's a little bit in flux. If you're interested in this, if you want art to be part of your MSU experience, we'd encourage you to apply. We have a soft deadline of April 15th, and the window will really start to close on May 1st. But the sooner you can get in touch, the better. I'm happy to talk with you. So thanks again, everyone.
Awesome, very exciting new program for us. Moving forward, we are going to be hearing from our core engineering friends.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us here this evening. My name is Amanda Idema. I'm the Assistant Dean for Undergraduate Studies in the College of Engineering. And I'm going to talk about our first year engineering core experience. It's really a wraparound living learning community designed to support the success of our early engineering students. It is open to all first year engineering students. We currently have 11 different majors in engineering. There's no application required to be part of the core program. Simply by having a major in one of our engineering majors, you are eligible to be part of the program. Students in core are housed typically in South Neighborhood, which consists of Wilson, Wonders, Holden, and Case. Most of our students reside in one of those 4 halls, although living in South is not a requirement to be part of the core experience. And I'll explain a little bit about that on the next slide when I get there. But we have both residential and co-curricular opportunities for students, which is why you don't necessarily need to live there to take advantage of some of the opportunities. Like the residential colleges, we have classrooms, labs, offices, advising, careers, tutoring, et cetera, right in those buildings. Wilson and Wonders Hall are kind of the hubs for our two offices and labs and advising and careers. But we're really sort of focused on educating the entire engineering student and finding how to connect with them on academic, personal, and professional levels. Next slide, please. And you'll see this is really where kind of the two parts are. There's the academic program. We teach a couple of courses that are part of the engineering curriculum, Intro to Engineering Design. All the lab facilities for that course are located in Wonders and Wilson Halls. And we also teach EGR 102, which is one of our introductory computing courses. We also have an elective called EGR 291, which is Engineering Your Success. It's meant to be sort of a transition class from high school to college, a lot about study skills, time management, but also kind of figuring out the college experience. We believe that our students should be hands-on from day one. So EGR 100 is taken by all of our new students in their first or second semester. And those are hands-on team-based design classes. So our students from day one in that class are in interdisciplinary teams. They're building projects. Some of them are corporate sponsored, some of them are service learning, but they're supported by an entire teaching team, and they're really getting to learn that iterative engineering experience. So they're handed a problem, they're coming up with a solution, they're designing a solution, testing a solution. It'll probably fail the first time, as most things do. So they'll get to kind of redesign, retest, and get that iterative process going. On the co-curricular side, for the students who do live in South Neighborhood, we have peer leaders on each of the floors, which are sophomore, junior, senior students who can act as mentors really to our first year students. They are designed to not necessarily be an RA type figure, but more of a role model of, hey, I was in your shoes a year or 2 years ago. Here's how I got through my first year in engineering. Here's some things I wish I did differently. Here's some suggestions, opportunities to get involved, et cetera. We know a large number of engineering students are also part of the Honors College. We do have honors floors within our residential community. But regardless, like I said, students don't have to live in South Neighborhood to be part of CORE. Any student with an engineering major is eligible to participate in any of the opportunities that we have. We offer math, chemistry, and physics tutoring right in Wonders and Wilson Hall. So again, it's just downstairs or across the street from where most of our students are living. We have weekly engagement activities where students are meeting other engineering students. They're working with corporate partners. We firmly believe that students should be engaging with employers in their first year. Many of our students do get internships the summer after their freshman year, and they're finding out about that during some of these activities. We do have some professional tours and trips. We might take a small group of students to a manufacturing plant or visit a research lab or something like that. We have service opportunities and lots of evening presentations. We know students are in class during the day, so we try to do these social and educational engagement activities in the evenings when they're more likely to participate. We regularly bring in faculty, we bring in industry leaders, and we're able to really expose students to all of the different things that they can do with their engineering degree. If you want to learn more information, engineering.msu.edu, you can go to our Future Engineers section, and there's also a section on core engineering. But again, the kind of big takeaway is that we're trying to put all of these sort of wraparound student services right at our students' fingertips in South Neighborhood. But regardless of where a student lives, they are eligible to take advantage of any of the services that we provide through the core experience. So hopefully that answers some of the questions, and we are always available for, again, visits. We do presentations all throughout the spring. We do tours of our facilities. We have admitted student events. So if there's any questions that you still have about this, there's lots of different ways to get in touch with us. So thank you all for being here tonight, and we look forward to engaging with you more as you move towards your start at MSU. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. It looks like there are plenty of friends looking to engage in the question and answer section for engineering. Moving on, we will be looking at Drew Scholars.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jerry Caldwell, and I am Director of the Charles Drew Science Scholars Program. The Charles Drew Science Scholars Program is a multicultural residential science living and learning community program for students who are pursuing majors in the College of Natural Science. But before I tell you a little bit more about our program, first the name, Charles Drew. The program is named in recognition of the eminent physician scientist, Dr. Charles Drew, who is best known for innovative discoveries and developments in blood preservation and storage. And that informs a lot of what the program is about. And our students are encouraged to follow his example of both scholarship, leadership, and community service. The mission of the program is to increase diversity within the natural sciences by providing support for students in achieving all-around success and well-being through academic success and preparation for graduate and professional school or pursuing a science-based career after completing their bachelor's degree, and also in community engagement and service, and through social support by fostering a sense of belonging and connectedness through community with fellow students with similar academic and career interests and aspirations, and with faculty and members of the College of Natural Science. Students in the Drew Scholars Program enter majoring in one of the 30 majors offered in the College of Natural Science, including majors in the biological or life sciences, the physical sciences, and the mathematical sciences. So Drew Scholars, they aspire to careers in medicine, dentistry, pharmacology, public health, research, and any careers that are based in or related to science or mathematics. We're located, our residential home is in the Rather Hall, the second and third floor of Rather Hall, and that's in the Brody neighborhood. Next slide, please. As a residential program or living and learning community, Drew Scholars have many of the benefits of a small college, such as a close-knit, supportive academic and social community that complements the benefits of attending a major research university like Michigan State. So the enriched educational and social experience of Drew Scholars include personalized, and you see in what we call our student circle of support, is really 4 major components of the Drew students' experience, and that includes the personalized academic advising, academic support through our academic coaching and tutoring program, where the emphasis is placed on students being successful in their science and math courses specifically, but in all of their courses, by gaining a deeper conceptual understanding of course or subject material, while also acquiring subject-based study strategies and skills, and also through career advising that is tailored to each student's career interests and goals. So students who enter into the Drew program, nearly all aspire to go on to, after completing their bachelor's degree, onto either graduate school or professional school, or even into work. And it is our belief that students begin preparing for their ultimate career goal or interest from the very beginning, from the first semester that they enter Michigan State. And so the program assists students and work with students in providing advising for career exploration and preparation, while also in engaging in those activities where students can develop themselves into the most well-prepared and competitive applicant, particularly those where they aspire to go on to professional or graduate school. And also through helping students find and apply for scholarships and other educational and career enrichment opportunities, and paid internships, such as paid research internships with faculty here at Michigan State University, again, a major research university, and at other research opportunities that are around the country and also internationally. And also through preparation for and assistance for admissions to medical school, to dental school, for pharmacy, and for graduate school. So the Drew Scholars Experience also include 2 courses that all Drew students take. Drew Seminar, their seminar courses, Drew Seminar 1, or a freshman seminar called Scholarly Transitions, that focuses on successful transition from high school to college and the things that are important for a successful college experience. And that course covers the 10 principles that research has shown that are very important for a student's successful transition from high school to college, and for having a successful and productive overall college experience. The second course that our Drew students take is our Drew Seminar 2 course that really career exploration, preparation, and professional development. Again, that focuses on preparing for postgraduate education or careers. And again, that is based on our view that students begin to prepare for their ultimate career goals from the very beginning as first semester freshmen and throughout. The membership in the Drew program is for all 4 years or until you complete the degree. But membership is through invitation based on students who have been admitted to Michigan State and who plan to pursue a major that is offered in the College of Natural Science and who have a high school grade point average of 3.0 or better. Also, during this period of during this semester and spring, we have several virtual informational programs about the Drew program. So students who are interested, whether they received an invitation to membership in the program or not, have an opportunity for a virtual visit to the program. And there are several of those that are planned throughout the spring. So to learn more about the Drew Scholars Program, you can visit our website and also our social media, or you can email us at drewscholars.netscience@msu.edu, or you can give us a call. So again, if you're interested in the Drew program, there are many ways you can contact us or to learn more about the program. And again, we look forward to talking with any of you who are interested. Again, glad you're here. Have a good evening.
Great info. Thank you. Up next, we have our residential business community.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being with us tonight and sharing this event. My name is Sherry Henry, and I am the director of the residential business community. The residential business community is the living, learning, leading community within the Broad College of Business. The RBC experience prepares students to be business leaders and encourages their professional development throughout their college experience. This community living experience assists students in acquiring the relational skills necessary to succeed and lead in today's global society. Through a seamless environment of academic and experiential learning activities, students develop business leadership competencies in a collaborative, inclusive, multicultural environment. The overall goals of the RBC are to support students as they transition from high school to university, to increase their growth in cultural intelligence and leadership skills, and to provide networking opportunities with corporate recruiters, Michigan State University alumni, and corporate mentors. Next slide, please. The residential business community is housed in McDonald Hall, which is very close to the Broad College business complex. So it's really nicely placed for business students. We're in the River Trail neighborhood, so we have the benefit of having an engagement center in the hall with us. Space is limited in the RBC, and students must apply to join. If you're looking at this slide, you can see some of the reasons to apply, all of our engagement opportunities. We have special orientation days for our students to welcome them. We have a special curriculum. Our Business 101 freshman seminar is part of the curriculum at RBC. It is not part of the Broad College curriculum for the rest of the students. It's a course that helps students in the transition to Michigan State. Second semester, we have Business 100. And that's a course that really helps students figure out the purpose. So you transition to Michigan State with Business 101, and then you figure out your purpose while you're here second semester. And then we have an opportunity to continue in the RBC with our formal program for the second year experience. So we have Business 201, which then takes a deep dive into that professional goal that a student has and helps people figure out what competencies they need to be marketable at the end of their college experience. Additional opportunities in the RBC you can see listed. We have weekly success series. We have lots of lunch and learns where we bring in corporations to talk about skill sets that students need and additional information, and to help students network to get them early on in the pipeline for internships. We have peer mentoring. We have 2 student organizations that are part of the RBC, so students can join first semester and right away jump into leadership if they're interested. We have tutoring support for some of our more challenging classes in the Broad College, like our computer science class, the statistics class, mathematics class, economics class, and our accounting class. We have lots of community service opportunities as well. It's just a great way for students to come to Michigan State and have that small college experience within the greater experience. So to have a chance to enjoy the benefits of being at a university where you have 17 colleges available and the resources available, but yet you're still part of this small community. We have about 300 students in the RBC each year. We do have an honors floor, as Bess mentioned at the beginning of this webinar. So if a student is in the Honors College, they can certainly be on the honors floor in McDonald Hall and still feel part of the community. Our application is open now, and you can find that on our website, which is broad.msu.edu/RBC. It's actually found on that site in 3 or 4 different places, the link to the application. We're doing rolling admissions, so our first round of admits will go out on this Wednesday. And we will continue to admit students until our application closes April 15th, or until our community is full. And so the way it works is students apply, we review the application, we make our invitations for membership. Students have to accept that membership. And then once we get to our number, since we're a limited program, that's when our application closes. So we'll stay open until April 15th, provided that we haven't fulfilled all of our spots. I do want to say RBC is no longer coupled with direct admit to the Broad College. So we do have a number of students who are direct admits, and we have students who are exploratory business preference in our program. Our application for admission is also our application for scholarship. The residential business community gave out almost $500,000 in scholarships last year. So it's a well-funded, well-supported program by our alums, and it's just a fantastic program to be part of. I'll be happy to answer questions in the Q&A. Thank you for your attention tonight. And I want to introduce my colleague from the RISE program, Jory Beadle.
Thank you, Sherry. Hi, everyone. My name is Jory Beadle. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the Assistant Director of the Residential Initiative on the Study of the Environment. The RISE program is a first-year living learning program, although we stretch all 4 years as long as students want to stay engaged. We're largely interdisciplinary, meaning that we pull from all different colleges, majors, minors, as long as students have an underlying interest in environmental studies and sustainability, and that they're interested in this RISE program. A lot of times students apply to RISE if they've really thrived in their AP environmental class, earth science, biology classes. If you feel really strong in those courses, RISE might be a good home for you. We usually admit between 50 and 60 students. And in addition to some of the resources I'll talk about here in a minute, we also offer a minor through RISE. It's the Environmental Studies and Sustainability minor. There's also a major at MSU that mirrors that. The minor is a way for students to incorporate some of what they're learning within RISE into their major components because they are so interdisciplinary. We're purposefully interdisciplinary because we believe that in order to tackle some of these really big, wicked problems that we have around environmental studies and sustainability, we need lots of creative thinkers. And so that's why we bring all of these different types of students into this one living learning community together. We're located in Bailey Hall, which is in the Brody neighborhood. We're pretty easy to spot because of this beautiful greenhouse that we have right outside of Bailey Hall. This is one of our co-curricular learning opportunities for students. We're firm believers that we don't want just you to learn about sustainability issues, but we want you to engage in the solutions that surround them. So many of our opportunities within RISE are experiential learning opportunities, one of which is the greenhouse that you see here. Some of those co-curricular opportunities are really surrounded by the student projects. So we have honeybees on our roof, so students get to engage in pollinator health checks. We have mushrooms as part of our co-curricular rotations as well. That passive solar greenhouse that we talked about. Students also engage often in what we call campus change projects. So the program has funding for students to explore different areas that they're interested in around environmental change on campus. Currently, we have a group of students working to ensure that there's some native prairie spaces around campus, and they're working broadly with various campus partners on that. We work closely with the 1855 Community Garden Project, and so students are using some of those funds to create programming and community building around food and sustainable farming practices. We also connect students with as much as we can with undergraduate research opportunities. There's a high percentage of our students that land in labs for their first year because, again, we really believe in those high impact practices and those opportunities to engage in meaningful research right when you get to MSU. Some other opportunities that we have are to support that first year experience. We have a peer mentorship program. So as students get into their various programs and they're identifying classes that they might be struggling with or areas that they might need additional support, we assign them with a peer mentor. The joy of the interdisciplinary program is we've got, packaging students and we've got engineering students and all sorts of students from all over the university who can come together to collaborate and support each other in those various general education courses. And all of these kind of summarize these hands-on co-curricular learning opportunities that we're really big fans of here. The only requirement of RISE is NSC 192. It's a first-year seminar for students. In that seminar, we introduce students broadly to environmental issues, but we also implement practices that help support them in their first year. So we do four-year planning, some academic advising, and practices like that. We are accepting applications until April 15th. You can access that on our website. We'll post that in the link that's also tied to that QR code right there. The best way to get in touch with us is just to email me. If you have questions as you work your way through the applications, certainly reach out. Usually what happens when students apply is we schedule a Zoom session with you, and then we're able to schedule a tour of the hall as well, so you get a visual of your future home. Please reach out if you have any questions. Thanks for being here tonight.
Awesome. That wraps up our living learning communities. Now we are going to move into our special interest communities, and kicking us off is the Detroit Made program.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joy Hannibal, and I use she, hers pronouns. I am the program director for the Detroit Made Scholars Program. Our students are housed in South Neighborhood in Holden Hall, and the Detroit Made offices where the staff are is in Bessie Hall. We take approximately 60 to 75 students, and we take students on a rolling basis, and our eligibility is you have to be a Detroit Public School graduate or a Detroit resident. And our funding is from the Gilbert Family Foundation. And so that's Dan and Jennifer Gilbert, who have invested in Detroit, including this program at their alma mater. Next slide. So why Detroit Made? We're here to support students into, through, and out, aka graduation of MSU. And so we support students in many ways. We have a first year seminar that helps support their transition. We provide supplemental advising and coaching to help students navigate various offices on campus. We do career development and service learning projects and research opportunities. All in all, we are here to connect students and engage students back to Detroit through many of those things that I've already mentioned. So we have a partnership with Accenture, a leading global professional services company, and that gives us 2 internships, students paid internships. And we have had students do very well and actually be hired by Accenture, one of them being a James Madison student. So we do work with other residential colleges or other living learning communities as well. As you see on the slide, we have summer engagements. So we help students through new student orientation, through summer opportunities to get them connected to our program, our students, and of course to MSU. And so to apply to us, as I mentioned, we're on a rolling basis till we're full. And you can email us at detmade@msu.edu. We're also on Instagram, as you see there as well. And you can apply through our website. So I'll pass it on to the next special group.
Good evening, all. My name is Dawn Kepler, she, her pronouns. I coordinate our collegiate recovery community here at Michigan State University, and I'm excited to talk to you tonight about recovery housing. MSU has the first recovery housing in the state of Michigan and the 4th in the Big Ten. And the mission of recovery housing is to offer the opportunity to form meaningful relationships based on sobriety, connection, and academic success. We at Recovery Housing work to build an inclusive community for students in recovery from substance use disorder, where they can enjoy a real college experience and a sense of belonging. MSU has more than 1,500 students who identify as being in recovery, and so Recovery Housing is really dedicated to bringing these students together. We are located in the North neighborhood in Mason Hall, which is conveniently also located near Student Services Building, where the Collegiate Recovery Community Lounge is also housed. Next slide, please. In recovery housing, some of the benefits include live-in peer support. So in recovery housing, residents will have a peer leader living right down the hall, and their job really is focused on creating an inclusive community. And this includes providing community time, as well as organized activities that are based on students' identified needs and interests. To be a member of recovery housing, students must also be a member of the collegiate recovery community. And this provides opportunities to engage and connect with a broader community on campus. Some of these resources that are available through this broader community include weekly peer support meetings, scholarship opportunities, community service projects that students can become involved with, as well as wellness and life skills workshops. Our students in recovery housing report that they have been made to feel welcome and a sense of belonging. And as well, they also report academic achievement and support in this area as well. Anyone who's interested in more information can go to healthpromotion.msu.edu or click on the QR code here. The application is also available here. We have a Friends, Family, and Allies Day coming up on Saturday, April 13th. I will now pass it over to my colleague in camp.
All right, thank you, Dawn. So camp and our next community are unable to actually be with us this evening, so I'm going to go ahead and cover their programs. So CAMP actually stands for the College Assistance Migrant Program, and it was funded by the U.S. Department of Education in 2000. MSU CAMP is an educational program that offers individuals with migrant or seasonal farm work backgrounds. The program provides the best conditions to help camp scholars succeed in university life, and it is a residential program that assists with migrant and seasonal farm worker students with academic, social, and financial support to enable them to complete their first year of college. Camp scholars do reside in Holden Hall, which is a suite style building in our South neighborhood. And in order to be a part of camp, you'll want to submit a certificate of eligibility from the Migrant Education Program, submit MSU's undergraduate admissions application, submit and complete your FAFSA, and submit a copy of your passport booklet. If you don't yet have one, just let us know. Your status won't be able to work with you. So as I mentioned, that representative is unable to be here this evening. So if you have any questions for the program director, the program itself, or interested, please visit them at mss.msu.edu/camp, and they'll be able to help you there. Our last special interest community is the College of Music. The College of Music living community tends to live in North neighborhood, specifically in the West Circle area. College of Music incoming students are actually assigned in the West Circle area unless they opt out by emailing us at liveon@msu.edu. The music community itself is for Bachelor's of Arts and Bachelor's of Music majors, including but not limited to composition, jazz studies, music education, and performance. It offers music majors the opportunity to live in West Circle near classes and other MSU music students. Again, more information can be found at music.msu.edu. All right, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about resources and spaces that are available to all students on campus. The question and answer function is completely open, and we'll have folks available to answer questions you might have. I'd like to take a second to introduce you some campus-wide resources that are going to be available to all students, both in and out of living learning communities. So first up, we have our Spartan Compass program. It is a program available to all first-year students. About 50% of our incoming students are a part of living learning communities, and Spartan Compass is available to all first-year students with a focus on those not already in a living learning community. This program is specifically designed to foster connections and build community through the residence halls for first-year students as they transition to MSU. By offering specific signature events, having special staff available to support students through engagement and relationship building, and promoting additional student organizations and leadership opportunities, our Spartan Compass program truly is there to help first-year students transition to life on campus at MSU successfully. Similar to the Spartan Compass program, our Spartan Navigator program is supporting students in their continuing access during their second year with us. Through similar measures, the Spartan Navigator program will help continue to support a sense of belonging on campus and prepare students for the remainder of their time with us on campus. An incredible hub of support that we offer within our neighborhoods are the neighborhood engagement centers. These are spaces in which support services critical for student success are placed within reach of every Spartan, again, both in and out of living learning communities. These spaces exist in every neighborhood and not only help foster community, but also offer up academic and social support through help rooms, undergraduate advisors, tutors, special programming, and health services. For more information on the specific offerings of the engagement centers and where they're located in each neighborhood, please check out the Neighborhood Student Success Collaborative at nssc.msu.edu. In terms of support within the neighborhoods themselves and in-hall support, here's an overview of the multiple levels of support that we have for students within our residence halls. As you can see, there are several levels of undergraduate and graduate level students, as well as full-time staff available within the floors, the buildings, and the neighborhoods to support students in ways that they might find necessary. So as we near the end of our webinar and get ready for some questions and answers, I wanted to provide a quick overview on housing next steps. Between now and the beginning of May, students are encouraged to sign their housing contract to let us know to hold a space for them. After that step is completed, the beginning of May, students will be able to indicate their housing preferences, such as bathroom style, or if they have a preferred roommate. That information is going to be due to us prior to the end of June, so that way we know what type of space to place the student in. Room and roommate information will be released in mid-July after the housing assignments assigns first-year students on their living spaces. And please note with that yellow call-out box that students within the res colleges or living learning communities that are preferencing roommates will need to choose roommates who are in the same program in order to be considered or accommodated. So currently we are at the end. Before we jump into questions, I did want to say congratulations on your admittance to MSU. I'm very excited that you're considering, joining our fantastic Spartan community, and admissions to MSU is not necessarily an easy thing. So congratulations on all the hard work that you've done so far. And hopefully that this webinar has been able to help you decide to find your home here at MSU in a community in which you'll be supported. Right, so looking forward to some general questions and answers. Let's see what we have here.
Amanda, I think there is a question that's kind of come up, is just how do students find out if the residential colleges and or living learning communities are filled for those that have like an application process? So I think we've heard from the group, but correct me if I'm wrong, that essentially contacting these offices specifically is going to be the best way to find out if folks have filled up. But anything you want to add to that?
No, I think that really is the best way to find out. As you can see, there are many communities on here and they all have different capacity limits in which they're able to support their residential communities. So with that, reaching out to them specifically or even going to their web pages for more information is going to be your best bet and most timely way to get that information, as well as if you have any questions about your application status or if you need to do anything differently in order to be a part of that residential community, they are the best bet for getting that information, and you'll definitely want to reach out to them through their website. It looks like another question that we had come through is there any website or anything provided to help find roommates? And this is actually one of my favorite questions to answer. So MSU actually partnered with an app a few years ago called My College Roomie, and it's actually an online roommate matching program. Funnily enough, very similar to online dating, you go in and you fill out a preference and you answer a few questions and fill out a profile. Things that a potential roommate match might want to know. Are you a night owl or an early bird? Do you do 6 a.m. sunward facing yoga, or do you play video games until 3 in the morning, right? Things that could impact a roommate relationship. My College Roomie then will actually match you with other residents, other first-year incoming students within your living learning communities and within some of your interest areas, and you can actually connect with them to try and find roommate matches, which is quite a great way to meet people. It's also, you might find the world's most perfect roommate match for you within those spaces, but also within those 25 students you get matched with at a time, those are also going to be first-year students who are looking for someone to go to the dining halls with, or go to any of the fall welcome events with, someone to grab a coffee with in between classes. So it's a great way to kind of network before you even set foot on campus. It looks like another question came up. Which residence halls are not specific to certain colleges? And actually a large portion of our East neighborhood is open to all first-year students, Acres and Hubbard specifically. Hubbard is a suite style building. And again, suite style is when you have 4 students, they're split into 2 rooms and they share a conjoining bathroom, almost like a Jack and Jill style. And then Acres Hall is actually the only building on campus that has our quad style rooms. And that's when 4 students are in one room, and that room is subdivided into living spaces, a bathroom, and a living room, which is kind of exciting. Another question that came out is the housing contract open now? And correct me if I'm wrong, Bethany, I do believe that it is open for first year students, but we will be sending out additional information and a push to MSU emails as we get closer to that May 1st deadline.
That is correct. The housing contract is open now. Once students complete their deposit and get their net ID set up, they can go onto the Live On website and complete that.
Looks like we have another question in regards to more information. Will there be any more webinars in the future? Yes, so we are actually planning a slate of webinars to happen between now and hopefully when we see you during move-in in the fall. Some of those housing webinars are going to be specific about move-in, things to pay attention to, other updates and whatnot before classes start. So definitely check out the Live On website and watch your MSU email for those. Also, if you haven't already followed us on social, I would definitely recommend following MSU Live On social, not only to see different opportunities to style your room and use holiday lights to brighten up the space, but also to be aware of upcoming deadlines and things that you need to be aware of in order to make sure that your housing process is following kind of all the steps that it needs to be to get ready. And then looks like we'll have one more question. Is there only one admitted student visit day? So currently the only admitted student day that is happening as a large scale campus-wide event is going to be Saturday, April 6th. There's a lot of great information about that on the MSU admissions website. It's a great day in which we have some kind of a campus-wide open house. You'll be able to speak with representatives from multiple colleges and departments on campus, as well as see residence halls. It's a really great opportunity to kind of get to campus and check out what it's like to be a Spartan for the day. Outside of that, I do know that we will continue to run daily tours from now until I believe towards the end of April. And again, information on tours, visit days, any of that can be found on the admissions website, where you can actually also pay your advanced enrollment deposit to commit to coming to MSU and get started on that confirmation process. Getting that email set up is going to be a really big step for everyone. So it looks like the questions have begun to slow down a little bit. So we are going to be signing off here shortly. Again, I wanted to thank you for spending time with us. The recording is going to be available on the Live On YouTube page next week. And if you have any follow-up questions or things that you need clarification on, please feel free to reach out to the individual offices and programs specifically. But thank you for joining us. I hope you have a wonderful evening and go green.